Made in Portugal is the go-to podcast brought to you by Raquel Batista of Lighthouse Consulting for entrepreneurs and business leaders looking to thrive in the Portuguese market. So whether you're navigating complex regulations, overcoming cultural differences, or adapting your business strategy to local demands, we've got you covered. Join us as we share expert insights, real-life success stories, and practical tips to help you turn challenges into opportunities. So, hi guys, welcome everybody to the second season of Made in Portugal. And this is the second episode because I just couldn't not do this first episode about accountings and banks in Portugal, unfortunately. But thank God for the second episode of the second season. I have the wonderful Meghana Kamdar, which we came into contact. I don't even know how, probably through Instagram, but we instantly connected. And we promised to do things together, and then life happens, and so we keep postponing. But finally, something happened. In fact, Meghana was able to be on primetime news TV
because of
in
you, because of your connection.
Yes, but thank God, because you were able to expose your case, and this speaks exactly to the first thing that I wanted to approach with you, which is the stereotype that now has been casted around expats in Portugal, and the fact that they're only like in fancy cafes and ordering their matcha lattes or whatever it is, and not contributing in any case and in any way here to Portugal, unless to increase the house pricing. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this, because we've talked about this, both of us. That is not our experience. It's not what we see. Me as a Portuguese, you as a US person coming here. So I wanted you to give your opinion and your light on this issue that seems to arise, that people are now like having this idea that expats are just very posh people ordering matcha lattes at fancy cafe.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you for that. Thanks for inviting me, Raquel, to be part of your podcast. It's so great to meet you and then to connect with you, and also be invited to the great television quick interview I did. So thank you. And to be here. Yeah, I mean, I really tried to defy, I guess, what expat vision, like the real typical vision of what maybe expats have been telling the story online, like a lot of Instagram videos about this dreamy digital nomad life, very less restricted. I don't have to pay taxes. I can live my life, make my American income, and then have the experience of having very low cost of living, right? I tried my best to not feed into that, because when I came 6 years ago, I came with kids. I came with my husband, 3 kids, right? The people that I have met and I continue to connect with are people like myself who are very much about making a life here, right? What does that mean? I'm very much loving so many aspects of Portuguese culture. I've tried so hard to learn the language.
We listen to it a little bit.
Pouco preciso de falar, não é? Em português, porque os meus filhos vão na escola portuguesa e também queria falar com as pessoas, com vizinhos, com minha comunidade, right? So I really tried my best to integrate. I tried my best to live like as a local, because I think there's a lot of value that I came here for. The value that I came for was much more deeper, much more a vision of life that I didn't have in the US. And some of that is really much rooted in community and having a family focused culture that values children, that values community, that values growing our kids within a very diverse community age. Like I see, I say hello to neighbors. I try to talk to the grandmas that are in the windows up, watching the street.
Security cameras. Those are the security systems of the neighborhood.
I love that. And I know they see me, and I know they are always like,
there's something going on.
Falta filho. They always know when if I'm not with my three, where is somebody, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it's those kinds of experience that I really love and admire about Portuguese culture. And I love the fact that I get to be here. I've chosen this as my home now, my second home in some ways. But really for my kids, I mean, their life, they are walking around saying, my daughters are so portuguesa. Like they're walking around
Oh,
saying,
tell us
feeling
about
that.
the name of your baby.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the origins of my my awakening, I would say, I didn't really consciously know it, but when I was pregnant with my third daughter, had visions of visiting Portugal just to visit because I've done this holiday during my maternity leaves. Might as well. I gotta breastfeed. I'm gonna go and do it in a new location that thrills my soul. Really, I love to travel, so it really awakens me. So somehow we had gone to Panama, we had gone to France, and my third maternity leave at this time is Portugal. And I didn't know much about Portugal, but I was starting to read about it and listen to it in 2018 when I was pregnant with my daughter, my last daughter. And then I don't know it was her birth was in the water maybe, and I was just thinking of being in a sweet fisherman beach town in Portugal when I'm done with when I have my maternity leave after her birth. So I was thinking of Nazaré, the town. And Nazaré just came to me, the name, and I said, husband, do you want to name her Nazaré?
And Nazare, there are a lot of people, a lot of women named Nazare because it's a very feminine name that is
I think
very
I've heard it's an Antigua,
Antigua, yes,
Antigua,
ancient.
like a more of a older name, traditional name, but I had no
It's
idea
just
of that.
beautiful. It's just
But I
beautiful.
picked it without ever landing in Portugal. I picked the name, and I'm almost thinking that was my premonition. Like spiritually, I was like, my life was meant to be here because I named her.
It was
And
like
then
the universe
obviously,
kicking you, like,
yeah,
go.
of course. They say, stop dreaming about this. Go do it. Go, go, go. Just go. So once we did the trip here on maternity leave, I looked at I was in Cascais. We traveled to Nazaré. We were in beach towns, and we're like, oh, I just don't want this to end. Like, it just feels so good to be here. Not just as a vacation. I could see this whole life, right? I had this vision into the
You
future of
felt
like,
it, yeah.
I felt it, girl. You can't explain that.
Yeah, I know.
And they loved my kids. There were kids that looked like my children. We were mixed. My husband is Black American Kenyan. My parents are Indian. But then here, I just felt like home. Like
Here, there's everything.
there's everybody and thriving and enjoying on the beach. So I got drawn into all of this, but I really felt like this was a place I could call home in my heart, in my soul. And from there, it was just like the opening up of all this possibility of
Oh my God,
what
I
I
love
could
that.
what I could
And
experience.
thing that I wanted to point out that there a lot of people tell me is
Mhm.
how they're surprised. One thing that you
Mhm.
mentioned, but I wanted to talk about two things. You came in at your maternity leave, and
Yes,
breastfeeding, for instance, in Portugal is completely common. It's a non-issue. Women breastfeed.
love that.
I breastfed all of my three kids, but the last two ones, the younger ones, for 2 years each. So that is a lot of
Oh
time.
my God, you're a super mom. Wow.
And it comes to a certain point where, like, wherever I am, that's where it's going to happen because, it happens every 5 minutes. And
Exactly.
never, and, sometimes some stores like more classical stores, they sell some like these things that cover the babies while they're breastfeeding, and I'm like, I never covered at all me or my babies breastfeeding, and I never felt anyone
Hmm.
watching or commenting, or if something, old women looking at me with my eyes and like,
Maybe longing and nostalgia.
yeah, and
Mm.
like so loving. And so the other thing that I think surprises Americans or people from other non-Latin cultures as well is this joy that we have with babies. We just love babies. I mean,
Oh.
people are very surprised when people come up to babies and say, "Oh,"
Oh.
because I guess that's not common, but it's not. It's not
Yeah.
weird. Portuguese people just love babies, whatever age, whatever, they just come up to babies and say, "Oh my God, your baby is so cute."
Tão fofa.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that part. Maybe that was part of it too, right? Of how
yeah.
easy it was to be here,
We
to
came into a great
breastfeed.
day
And
to
I
be.
was like, this is so easy. Like, why can't this be our reality? You
Yeah,
know? And I did feel that warmth and that energy of like full acceptance of my child who is having a tantrum in the restaurant, right? I'm nursing a baby, and there were actually grandmothers that came and held my babies and played with them so I could eat with my
oh my
husband.
God. See, and
And Porto
there's a
is like,
lot
I
of stories like that. Like we
held my
don't
baby and I was so happy to let them hold
people just I
take
mean,
them.
it's not like, oh my God, there shouldn't be restaurants where they allow kids. It's kids are incorporated and integrated in everything. I mean,
Right?
I took my kids to theater plays and to concerts, and I'm thinking now of
Mm.
I saw that the we can start buying tickets for ballets and orchestras from 3 years old up, and I'm like, "Woo,
Yay!
here I go."
It's
So
so true. Like we really don't participate in these things in society
yeah,
because I've always felt awkward. I've always felt like,
yeah,
well, my child is going to make a lot of noise, start
yeah.
running up and down the restaurant. And I felt very awkward about that. That's not a culture very
Yeah,
present
and
in the
usually
US.
kids here, if there's space in the restaurants, I remember even being a kid, this happened. If there was any outdoor space near the restaurants, like the kids ate, and after they ate, every kid started playing together on the outdoor space, whatever it was. And nobody
Exactly.
knew each other, but they were all
I
like
love that.
playing with each other.
And
And
those
I
things,
saw this year with my kids. We were at some park, camping park or whatever, and they all started just playing with each other.
I
And
love
so
that.
kids are very um, they get very welcomed here and very integrated here. And
I
so
love that.
Meghana,
I love that.
now that you're here for a few years,
Yeah.
can you tell me
Yeah.
like the worst and the best? Try not to think a lot
Um,
about worst things, but like
I
biggest
mean,
shocks or like biggest things, biggest surprising
I
negative
know it
things.
is. Oh, well, I mean, I don't dwell too much on it, but like walking in Lisbon streets, I'm like, oh, I have to do the dance because there's a lot of
Hmm.
coco on the street. So
Yes.
that's a little bit of a shock. I didn't expect. Like, dogs,
Dog poo.
from the
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah.
I would say that was a little bit tricky when I
Let's get
moved with the
precise. It's
kids.
dog poo.
Right. I
People.
said Coco because it sounds more cute, but my kids are always like dancing. We're like kind of hopscotching, but I mean, it's not like awful. Some of the street culture with like cars, I'm not aware of fully. I'm like, oh, like that car is, I have to make sure they're gonna stop before I cross. Some of that, a little bit of aggression during the road
Road.
while
Really?
driving, a little bit. Like I'm used to it in the States for sure, not at the US level, but I think at the pedestrian level with cars, I'm not familiar as like I'm not expecting them to like not slow down. Right here, I think that in the US we definitely don't have a lot of people walking. I think so. When people are, we're like really good about stopping. Anyways, that's kind of what comes to mind. And of course, the adjustment of the food culture has been a beautiful transformation in a way, but it took an adjusting.
Yes.
I'm used to a lot more flavors, a lot more salt sometimes, just like coming from the culture of the US, which is a lot more processed
Oh
in
yeah.
some extent, a lot more salt and a lot more just a lot of flavors all at once. Sometimes it can be over. Oh, now I realize the subtlety is something really beautiful here.
And now
It took some
now that
time to get used to.
you're desensitized, let's say you are
Yeah,
desensitized to the power of the nuance and the feeling of all of the little taste different tastes, because uh, food in the US is like a powerhouse. It just knocks your senses over. It's like an overload to your taste buds. And so it takes a little time to get desensitized, again, to get sensitized again for the subtleties of flavors. And so for the first few months, it may seem that everything is bland
It just,
because
yeah.
your taste buds are used to just getting a kick, and
Right?
getting overloaded with flavors and salt, and especially salt and sugar, because salt and
Yeah,
sugar is a
yeah,
mixture that is used a lot in made up foods and the food in the US. I mean, and there are a lot of components that are used in the US that are not even allowed here in Europe. Even if you see McDonald's, the ingredients are different. And so that is something that a lot of people tell me, is that uh, there's a few months of they feel bland because they're getting, their their taste buds to work again without being knocked out every time they eat something. And then it's a wonderful new world to explore, because there's all these subtleties
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
herbs and low
totally.
salt and all of the spices and herbs, but at not at the knockout quantity that they usually use
Yes.
in the
Yes.
US.
I mean, I'm feeling that I can enjoy the natural flavor of things here.
Yeah,
You know, that was something that was harder to come by in the US. I mean, I'm coming from California, so I'm pretty spoiled still,
yeah,
but I was nicely surprised at how fresh everything is, right?
yeah.
And when you bring it home, you're like, wait, the bread isn't gonna last more than 2, 3 days.
Oh yeah, yes.
Getting used to that, but I love it. Now I can't go back. Now when
You
I go
can
back, I'm
you can freeze
struck
it.
by,
You can freeze it,
okay, but it
and
just
it's
still, I never had that. Yeah, I never
you
had
can
that thought.
slice it, like buy it fresh, slice it, and freeze it.
I
No, seriously, because it's even
might try
better
that.
for the gluten. The gluten gets
Oh,
better digested if you freeze it and then unfreeze it. Like, even you can unfreeze it and then eat it normally or in a toast, like get it
no.
on a toast. But it's even better for the digestion of the gluten if you actually freeze the fresh bread and then eat it after being.
Okay, that's new.
Yeah,
I'll have to try that. I'll have to try that. But I mean, it's just so simple, the cuisine, but it's so easy at the same time. I can make a beautiful meal with few natural ingredients, right?
yeah.
From Portugal.
And what about
And
your kids? I mean, because I know your
yeah.
kids. How about what was the adaptation? Because I talk a lot about the food in Portuguese public schools, how they have soup, like soup is religion, right? Soup
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
all meals,
Yeah.
and then a main dish with veggies, proteins, and carbs. And then there's three variations of that dish. So there's a normal dish, there's a dietary dish for when kids are not feeling that great, and then there's a mandatory vegetarian option. So
Yeah.
it's mandatory for all public schools to have a vegetarian option for kids. So at
Okay.
least there's
That's news.
always,
I didn't know that.
yes. So at least there's always three main dishes, and then there's dessert. Dessert, it's usually fruit,
Maybe fruit, yeah.
or like the sweetest thing will be like Jello or something.
Mm, mm,
Not any
mm.
crazier than this. And so I hear that for students from other countries, they're like, we're sitting down, we're having like a proper meal. It's like almost a Thanksgiving amount of food. Uh, and they're very surprised that this is like public school mandatory.
Yeah, yeah. What a beautiful thing here. To have all those view, like the distinction between first course, main course, you know, like entrada, sope,
Oh, yeah.
all those 5 course meals. Like that's like not our tradition at all, and definitely not at public schools. So what a great way to have this foundation of like how to like have all the meals, have all the parts of the meal, all the balance, all the I don't know, the royal kind of like full experience. I think I'm giving my kids a great foundation.
How did
But
they
yes,
adjust?
I mean my kids were quite young, 6, 4, and 2. But yes, my oldest was 6, so he definitely still has a more identifies as an American in his many cultural ways, food related. But I think in the end he's become quite more healthy conscious now, health conscious, maybe because, yeah, you can really see he pays attention now to the labels on things. He's like doing atletismo, track and field, right? And so I think he's in this higher awareness now about what kind of foods to put in his body. Yes, he would love more American meals, I think, because it's like burgers and French
I
fries. Who
mean,
doesn't love that? Who
exactly.
does not love that?
Portuguese kids are
But
always demanding U.S.
yeah, but
meals.
he's making his own choices. I think he's making a lot of great healthy choices. I think it comes from us at home, but also at the school
Certainly.
of like he knows he should have every like a more balanced meal. What is that? A diet, really a full healthy diet. And but
I mean,
thankful to the Portuguese education system for
yeah,
that too.
babies start with soup here. Like
I
it's
love it. I
old.
love that.
The
I
first
love
that
to.
they have is soup, and then
And
some years back, the dietary directory, let's say, rules were to have it start at 4 months old, which is too young, with like cereals,
oh,
and then
wow.
they completely reviewed it. And from a few years now, and of course before that, it was always soup because there weren't even cereal available for babies at that time. I don't know, 50s and 60s and 70s. It wasn't available here. So and they
Excuse
food,
me.
and even the 7-year old, so probably you got this too,
Mm.
and there was a whole like movement of baby-led weaning, so like them eating normal foods. And so I remember that at the start with my 7-year old shocking everybody like at restaurants, because she just took out a big piece of meat like a baby, right, and started eating. uh,
Ah,
but that
wonderful.
made so much sense to me because, at,
Mm,
when
mm.
we were all in tribes and living outside, there weren't any blenders around, I think. And so babies had to find a way to start to chew. And that
They
was the
did.
way.
They did.
And it
I,
worked really well for both of them.
uh-huh.
And I think that Portugal is very, and even, grandmothers and their grandmothers were shocked at first, but then quickly adjusted and felt it very natural to them as well. Like, of course, because they remembered how they were fed when they were
Exactly.
younger. And it's
I mean,
this,
yeah, I remember going to France with my second baby, and she was 8 months old, and giving her baguette, a big one, and she
yeah,
just literally, so she couldn't
I'm
swallow it, just gnawing it, making it wet, gnawing it, gnawing it, gnawing it. It was felt really soothing to her. I was surprised too. I was like, "Is this okay? Is she gonna choke? She can't choke on that." But even my mother-in-law's Kenyan. She also would give my kids
yeah.
the chicken leg, and they would just loved
Yeah,
it. They
yeah,
would use
it's
it all the
great.
time.
And it's such a
Oh,
competence that they gain as well, right? It's not just, I remember at the time where with the parents just giving soup or cereals or whatever with the spoon,
hmm
and the baby's not doing anything. When they're doing that, they're manipulating their, it's coordinating their hands to their mouths. It's all the flavors and the consistencies. It's so enriching that I really don't know how we went through a stage where, spoon feed.
mm, mm, mm.
I
With
felt like I
all
was,
of that adds so much work for us too as a
yeah,
parent.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
loving to do
truly
less and less if they can be more self-sufficient in their little
natural and
ways.
more natural, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we've gone through the bad things, which were very minor, the good things. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about your integration, but
Okay,
if not,
sure.
we could then go to
I mean, I
the
just
things
think
that we
that
have.
learning Portuguese language has been a window to the culture. So I really feel like that's an important value of mine, and
Oh,
I
yes.
encourage everybody, no matter how hard it feels some days, go out there and make a fool of yourself if you have to, but start speaking. Um, because you just got to get over that. And some people are going to be super welcoming, and other people like, can I
Exactly.
just switch
I
to
was
English
about to ask you the
to
reaction
make
of
it
the
easier for
Portuguese.
you? And then I'm usually like, no quero falar em inglês, quero continuar em português. So I just kind of push the idea that however I need to practice and get out there is the best way of learning. Because I can sit in a classroom and study the grammar and then do the homework and be in that safe space. But going out there and putting myself in that uncomfortable place, that's the only way to learn. And that's the only way to
Yeah.
get good. And
There's
there's no
there's
other way around it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. Yesterday, I was having a call with a client, and of course, I had my two youngest, and so I was talking to him, and then suddenly I said,
Please.
"No, vai lá fazer o desenho," something like this, and he
Yeah.
said, I think I know Portuguese until I listen to you talk, and there I go because I
Yeah.
realized I don't know anything.
Right?
But there's
Yeah.
a good trick that you can use, which is watch cartoons in Portuguese
Okay.
because it's a simpler language. It's certainly slower, like Bluey or something like that. So if you watch those cartoons, it's a great way to listen to simpler language, because if you listen to news or whatever, you won't understand anything. Everybody's talking really fast, and the subjects are really complicated. But I feel that one trick, and that's one thing that I also mentioned in my talks, one trick is exactly try to speak a few words in Portuguese. It will get you
It will.
so,
It
it
will.
will get you everything, because
Yeah.
Portuguese people will melt if they see you tentar a falar
Struggling.
português, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, and uh, actually we immediately try to revert to English, but you're very correct in maintaining your ground and saying, no, I want to speak Portuguese. And then
Yeah.
that just, we are like, oh my god, so cute, and you get everything that you possibly would want from any Portuguese if you do that.
I think it works. I think it's
Oh
worked in my
yes.
favor a lot because they realize I'm obviously a foreigner, so they already want to help. But then when they realize I'm also a foreigner struggling to learn their language, like, okay, they got a lot more
Trying
respect.
and
Yeah.
trying, exactly, you have that respect of
Yeah.
trying and making your halfway through the bridge, and that is
Right.
something that we respect a lot, like we, because
It's so humbling.
yeah, we respect
Hmm.
everyone, we try to welcome everything, but we're very used to being the ones having to do all the work, and so when we see someone actually coming towards us with that labor,
Mm-hmm.
and we know how difficult Portuguese is, so we really admire that. So that is something that we're like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Thank
something
you.
that gets you a lot of points
Oh,
here
good.
in
That's what I
Portugal.
try. I love that. And I love this tradition of going out to get coffee because now I do that every day. And I really like to sit in the Portuguese cafe and just listen to the
Yes,
conversations
yes.
and hear how people are using it day to day, right? Because I think that is something you won't get in a classroom
No,
necessarily, right?
and because we eat a lot of parts of the word, so
Yes, there's a lot of merging happening.
yeah.
And the last point of that is I try with my kids, but they're so advanced. And so I have to keep myself humbled also because they never want to help me learn Portuguese. They just laugh at me all the time because they're so far. They're
Now
like,
they're,
don't
they're like,
know.
when they want to talk in code, they just talk in
Yeah, it's
Portuguese, and you
true.
won't understand a thing. Right in
Well,
your
okay,
face.
I like to believe I can. I'm like, wait, uma secreta, idioma
Fale
secreto.
mais
No.
devagar.
Yes, they have their secret language now. No, just kidding. Which I created, which I told
Oh
them,
my
go
god,
learn Portuguese. So I
that's
got to do
just
my part.
wonderful.
I got to do my small part, right? And so every week,
It's no small part,
I have
Meghana.
always had classes. I always have classes.
That
Portuguese.
helps, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, just to
Just the
stay in that
structure.
structured, focused mind, because
Yeah.
I will lose it otherwise. Honestly,
Yeah.
not lose it completely, but I won't be growing. I'll
Yeah.
say that. You
Yeah.
cannot just learn a language by
Yeah.
like you have to
Yeah.
immerse
Yeah.
fully.
And then, like, swim or sink, and you just swim because there's no
Mm.
other
No
alternative.
option. Sí, sí,
Okay,
sí,
Megana,
sí.
talk to me about your
Yeah.
business and what's going on and what we can expect from
Yay!
you in this
Yeah.
next few
Oh,
months.
okay. I'm so excited. Yeah, for 4 years I've been coaching. I've been being coached myself, but so my love is really the life coaching aspect, but I have also integrated relocation. So I help families, multicultural families move to Portugal in 12 months or less with their kids. And I really like to focus on the full spectrum of things that people think are challenges. So a lot of my clients have doubts. A lot of them are fear of the unknown. A lot of them will convince themselves it's not a good idea, just like I was doing with myself for years.
Imposter syndrome.
And then, yeah, or they're just the fears, right? So every week I love to support people to talk through what are their real deep down desires for moving. And we create like this whole vision for what life could become, because I see in myself like how many lifetimes I've been able to live just by creating this vision for myself, like following through on yes for myself, like following through on myself. People always tell me, oh, you're so courageous for moving. And I'm like, the courage wasn't in moving. The courage was in following what was true for me, what I wanted. And it looked so different. So I love encouraging every single family to, like, if this is in your soul, come, let's do it. Whatever your fears are, we're going to walk you through it. And I'm going to help you create the income piece that I think a lot of people get stuck on. How can I really finance my life abroad? What kind of jobs or what kind of income streams can I put together? That's where I've also helped my clients, as well as all this relocation, the day-to-day, all the decisions back home with all the new decisions about creating a new home in Portugal. So it's quite more depth than just visas and relocation.
Yes.
So my services is one-on-one, but I also have a new group, Families Go Abroad Portugal, that I'm trying to fill in the next January, where we go through this whole process, 12 months together. And I've seen it with my clients. They can do it. You can do it too. I did it. Yes.
I mean, I admire you guys. I mean, just the thought, for instance, of moving house is daunting, let alone moving countries and cultures and language and everything. It's always something that I start with in my talks. Is like, I admire you guys. You have my respect. I mean, I don't know how you do it, because it's so many moving parts, man.
There are.
It's
There's
the
a lot
kids,
to it.
it's the schools,
A
it's the
lot.
habits, it's the foods,
schools,
it's
the
the
housing.
supermarket, it's like a medicine, and what if this and what if that. So it is crazy, and
It is a lot.
need to have someone by your side. And so I think that's your program. That's why your program is like really essential, because it can make the difference between it being, a nightmare and a traumatizing experience sometimes, to wow, this was easy breezy and it was cool, and I was handheld all the way down here. So I think that is the difference in life that you can do. You make a
That's the
difference in
thing.
someone's life. That's like huge.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so key, right? Because I'm gonna take away that overthinking, and I'm like, just spend an hour with me a week. You're gonna make this happen. Not all the other hours you staying up researching online, Googling, and spending years there. I've seen and heard of people that literally years. Facebook. No, don't go there. Don't go there. That stuff is not conducive to actually getting clarity. You can only get clear when you take action. That's really when it happens, and you can choose that. You can choose to take action. So that's what I love to help people with. It's a whole identity shift, and all the things and all the pleasures of like a new experience. And I want to say that none of my California life, I also still have that, and it's not going away either, right? It's like, yes, I'm living here, but I don't feel like I'm losing anything in the process of gaining my new life in Portugal, right? I don't feel like the integration piece too. I brought so many values and ideas from California that I think are also enhancing Portuguese culture. I think that we will, bring that to you. And I think that's probably your business side too, right? Feeds into your work.
Through these 3 years, it's something that has been brewing, and that I've been realizing it's not completely rational, but then it's something that I really realized recently, is the amount of new ideas, the shift in the way to do things, even at a mentality and awareness and type of philosophy behind everything that all the expats are bringing, because
Yeah.
Portuguese people, and this is something, I'm having a Portugal culture immersion program in January live. So this is the
Ooh.
live version of a program that I'll have then online. And this is the live part because I really like the, speaking, and I really like uh, the live aspect of it, right? The
Right.
there and reading the room and answering questions and really understanding the feelings that people have there in front of me at that moment. But so I'll have this live version in January, and you can get the tickets on Eventbrite, by the way. But if there's one thing that I've been seeing, like there's all of these networking groups, all of these women entrepreneur groups, all of these events. This just didn't exist before all the expats coming in. This just
Oh
didn't
wow.
exist. People getting
Uh-uh.
together and having events like this, like networking events about this, that, and the other, or like, if in the WhatsApp groups, I have, 100 WhatsApp groups, and there's yoga at the beach and silent disco at
Yeah,
here, and
yeah.
astrologic whatever there, and there are so many people that are getting together, so that there's such a support community here within the
Yeah.
expat community that I just didn't see that in Portugal anywhere or ever. So
Wow.
Portuguese people really lean into their families and their friends, and what
That's true.
weekends are
Yeah.
for families and friends. But actually the fact that expats come here alone,
Yeah.
that they get detached from their communities where they were, they immediately create their own communities here. And for us,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
friends and family, but it's not like we go. I've never seen any Portuguese go to, oh, I'm going to a networking event, on health. See them going. What used to exist was very business specific things, real estate. Yes, there were always real estate networking groups, but other than that, and fairs that, there are international and for big,
Conflict conventions,
and
maybe.
horizontal commerce things. I've
Uh-huh.
I've seen this expansion and growth of networking and meetup groups that just did not exist before the expat community. And this is very important because it's such a support, not only for them, for the expats, but also because of then what transpires to the Portuguese reality. I mean, what happens then on the
That's what I'm curious. I'm
tissue?
curious about
I
that,
mean, I
right?
create
What do you think?
businesses for people, and
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Amazing.
just with my alumni network alone, I am able
Mm-hmm.
to create like this network of support people and supporting businesses. Like I have real estate people. Yes, I've created everything from schools to, people that are almost like in the circus business, and consultants and IT people and restaurants, and now I have like a Japanese drumming school. So there's
Wow.
a diversity of so many things that I myself thought about creating, and I am creating, in the process of creating, a lighthouse club for networking, because I
Amazing.
felt that this is such an amazing idea to get like networking support, not just industry specific, but from, in my case, because I'm self-centered, I was like, I love clients. I want all of them to know each other. And because they're all people that I really like, uh,
Yeah.
I think
I
that
like
they're
that.
people that would really benefit from each other. And
Totally.
so then the businesses that get created, the ideas that get off the ground, are huge, because the Portuguese people are like, oh no, this is not going to work. Oh no, this is impossible. Oh, this is too much work. Oh, this is a. So there's such a negativity that is being countered now by the expat spirit, and so I am
Nice. I mean, I want to find out.
thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean, and you're at this like special place where you can see the value in that
Yeah,
too. And I'm curious, like, what do you think the impact will be longer term, like on Portuguese culture or economy or just like mindset
I think
with
that
this?
one of the biggest advantages is finally getting Portuguese to have a look at what they have and
Mm.
understand that they have it great. Like, it's not grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Wow, if they like it, because we have this ancient from the 50s, like, state of mind that
Mm,
everything that
mm,
from the outside is good and nothing from Portugal is good. And
mm.
sometimes it's still
That's
here
hard.
on the
I
back of our
still feel
mind,
that. I really see that.
right?
I
And so
do.
when we see expats and foreigners really enjoying and saying, "Wow, this is great! Your country is great because you have this, you have that, you have great weather, you have great food, great culture, uh, great whatever." And we're like, "Oh, really? Yeah, we kind of do, but we're just used to it." And this made us look to the wonderful thing that was our
That
country
was
that we
always
were
there.
always bashing, and turns out it's one of the best countries in the world. And I've traveled a lot. The more that I travel, the more I love my country, because when I go somewhere, I expect to be treated the way that everybody treats foreigners here. That doesn't happen. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, my dear
Yeah.
Portugal, you are really one of a kind. And so I think that it's really important for Portuguese people to appreciate the country and appreciate what we have, instead of having this, yes, because, you ask a Portuguese, hey, how's it going? The answer
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's going
Mm,
so.
mm,
Yeah, we're
mm,
living.
mm.
And this culture has to change, because this, I think, was um, brought to us because of those freaking autocratic years of
Yeah.
dictatorship.
Right. That's what I was gonna
Before,
say.
we weren't like that. I mean, we were the most resilient, stubborn people, on at least in Europe, because we were the ones unconquered for thousands of years, and nobody, for as much of different people that came in, we always ended up kicking everybody out. And we are the oldest country in Europe. We were created
Mm,
or built or
mm.
considered a country back in 1143. So this is a huge accomplishment. The fact that we're right at the edge of Europe, such a tiny country with this huge Spain, like trying to grasp our little country. And
Mm,
even
mm,
the 1st of December, I always tease the Spanish people,
mm.
1st of December, because on the 1st we celebrate the restoration of independence from the Spanish.
Yeah.
So when I worked at the Spanish bank for 18 years, I always made it a point to call them. I wasn't
Yeah.
working because it was a holiday here, but I called them. Hi, how are you doing? You're working. Why is that? It's a holiday here. Oh, right, it's a holiday here because out of here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
Funny. That's so
I
funny.
think it's a great thing to make us appreciate our country again.
Mm.
So that
So
is a
good, so
huge,
good.
like,
And I
pride.
really, yeah, I mean, I really think the Portuguese have this opportunity right
Yes,
now to realize that the benefits that so many immigrants can bring.
of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Aside from the
Expats,
tax and
immigrants
security
equal.
thing. Yeah.
Sorry?
aside from the tax and the social security things, because the people are living here, they're paying their taxes, they're paying social security, they're paying eva every time they eat or consume something, and that's what I think people forget about, right?
Yeah.
They're bringing a lot of money just by consuming, just by living here, so let them have their portion.
And their ideas and the business ideas and other ways of expanding the narrative, I would say, here
Yeah,
around what's possible in Portugal.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
Meghana,
Amazing.
so much
Thank you,
for
Raquel.
this podcast, and I'm very grateful
Me
to have
too.
met you. I can't wait to physically, meet
Yeah, me
you
too.
and hug you and feel your
Same.
energy. And I will put all of your socials and all of your
Please do.
references
Yeah.
in this podcast that will be available, all of
Yeah,
the
please
podcasting.
feel free. Yeah, tell your guests if they want to connect. If
Yes,
anyone wants to
and
connect. Mm.
we'll then, have some shorts or something so that everybody can get to hear to the full episode here. So thank you
Yay.
so much.
Thank you so
Let's keep
much.
in
Thank
touch,
you for
okay?
inviting me.
And best of everything for you,
Yes, to you.
Gana.
And you too. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Tchau.
Raquel. Beijinhos. Tchau, tchau.
Beijinho. Tchau, tchau. Okay.